I had asked Connor, like, there's all these great boutique pedal brands, but at the end of the day, do you really need anything more than the Boss equivalent of a certain kind of pedal? And like Connor said, I think in most cases the answer is no. That's not to say that you don't need to get something boutique. There are plenty of reasons to go that route. But I had mentioned that there are only certain occasions where I feel like there are pedals from other brands that are so specific and integral to what I'm trying to achieve that I would have to go with that specific pedal. Those kind of pedals are few and far between, but the one that comes to mind is Strymon Flint, because the quality of reverb, and especially the tremolo, for how simplistic it is and how versatile it is, I can't think of any pedals that have that kind of two-in-one thing in that format. I never thought that I would ever like tremolo. I didn't understand how tremolo would apply to my playing at all. I would always try to like get it in time with the band, which of course when you're playing with a live band, especially when it's you and your buddies in a garage and there's no click, it's like that's an exercise in futility. That's never gonna happen. And so when I got Flint, I realized, first of all, the tone of the tremolo was the first time I heard a tremolo, and I was like, oh, it can be like this? Mainly because of the harmonic mode. I only stay on the harmonic mode. I probably would never not use it. There are other options there if you need it. But I heard the tone of the tremolo, and I said, oh, I could do something with that. And because it wasn't so choppy, it occurred to me, like, why don't you just set the tremolo at a random speed? And then you just turn it on whenever you need some movement, and it's like, bam. That's how tremolo works. And as a brief aside, I think that's why a lot of people steer away from tremolo, is because they always try to get it like synced up with the band or something, or like they write a riff with it, which yes, that can be cool, but they write a riff with a specific tremolo time in mind, and they don't always have the infrastructure musically with the band to repeat that in a certain way. Not always, sometimes. But anyway, I'm kind of digressing there. If you set your tremolo at a random speed, that's really how you make it work with your particular rig. You might change the speed here and there very slightly, depending on the feel of the song and how you're trying to add some kind of texture in a moment with tremolo. But anyway, so when I got Flint, I realized, wow, tremolo is for me. I started using it, you know, here and there in pretty much every band that I play in. And the quality of reverb is great. You could get the reverb side of the Flint done with something like an RV6, which for the money is probably like the best reverb you could get in regards to durability, versatility, and simplicity all in one. It's kind of unbeatable in that way. But if you're looking for a great reverb pedal and you want to try out some trem, I can only really recommend the Flint for the reasons that I mentioned. And out of all of the pedals I have owned, not over my lifetime, but since I've gotten the Flint has been the only pedal that I've never thought about taking off the board. It's always a given that that will be a part of my board. It will never not be. It's my desert island pedal. I tell people that all the time. Yeah, it's like a modern classic. Really just such a great pedal. If you've never tried one, you definitely should, because I feel like you might be thinking that tremolo isn't really for you, and maybe you don't need another reverb, but I think you should try it, and you'll see for yourself that maybe you do need a tremolo. And once you hear it from the Flint, it just, you gotta go with the Flint. You know, I've played a lot of other boutique tremolos, not calling anybody out specifically, but had so much control over the trem. But I felt like I have so much control over what is not inherently a good sounding trem to begin with. And the Flint trem is 2 knobs, and it's all you could ever want and more. Yeah, desert island pedal for me, Flint.